All right, now we're on to factoring polynomials when a is greater than 1. And again, like I said about a is that first number next to the highest exponent variable. So with this one, a is 3, so we're going to do a different method than we did before, and you cannot use the other method at all. So you have to use a grouping or you have to use a box in order to do this. All right, so we're going to find factors of a times c. So we're really looking for factors. Now that's going to change everything, doesn't it? That turns it into, we want to find factors of 15. All right, factors of 15 that have a sum of b, which is 16. So they have a sum of 16. Well, we did one like this recently, so let's go through, just in case there's a big number and you don't know what to do with that. Let's go find all of our factors of 15. So we've got 1 and 15. Oh, look at that. That seems to be the answer right there, because that adds up to 16. But if it didn't, we would go and check 3 and 5. I think that's about it for that. All right, so we found that. We got 1 and 15. What are we going to do with that? Well, we're going to rewrite something. Okay, so we're going to rewrite our 3x. No, I'm sorry. We're going to write our 16x. We're going to call it 1x plus 15x now. Taking it straight from this part right here. Then we bring down our 3x squared. And we're going to add that. And then we're going to add our 5. So now we have 4 terms. We've got 3x squared, 1x, 15x, and we've got 5. So let me get those out of there. I just underlined them so you could see them. All right, so what do we do with that? Well, yesterday, or this, earlier today, I showed you that we could take this and, well, here's the steps. Rewrite bx as a sum, which we did. Okay, I'll just go through my steps. So we did that. We had 3x squared. Bx is your 16x. So we're going to rewrite 1x plus 15x plus 15x. And we have to remember that you got to bring down your 5. So all those terms have to be in there. All right, here we go. Oh, shoot. Okay, plus 5. Now, what we did earlier, we made a box. All right, we don't have to make a box, but this is one method. All right, so now you're going to go and put all your little guys in there. 3x squared, 1x, 15x, and 5. And now you go and you find the common factor in each row and find the common factor in each column. So for the first row, we've got 3x squared and 1x, so I think we're going to just have an x. Second row, we've got 15x and 5. So I'm thinking that's going to be a 5. Now go look at the column. We're going to look up here, okay? 3x squared and 15x. So what number goes into 3 and 15? Usually it's the smallest number you see, but not always. All right, 3. And then they both have an x, so we're just going to try to take out an x. I don't think we can take out more than that. Look at your next column. You got 1x and you got a 5. Those have absolutely nothing in common at all, but you have to put something there, so we're going to put a 1. All right, so now we've got our common factors filled in, and you're pretty much done at this point. You just go ahead and write x and 5 turns into x plus 5, and then you go and write 3x and a 1. Remember, that's a positive. 3x plus 1. You're done. All done. Okay, so we regroup the middle terms. Okay, so that's another method. I'm going to show you that method also, that we also did in class. All right, so that was one way of doing it. Let me add a page, or let's go back and start over, and I'm going to show you the way to do it by grouping. Okay, so we're starting all over again, and we're doing this with grouping. All right, so again, do the same thing. Find the factors of a times c, which we've already done, but we're going to do it again. Remember, that's 15 that have a sum of 16. So we already found 1 and 15 are going to be the winners. Okay, so you got that. So now we know we got to rewrite it. So we're going to write 3x squared plus 1x plus 15x. So this is exactly the same as what we did before. That's 5. Okay. All right. Now, the only thing we're going to do different now, we're going to keep them all in a line. So you're regrouping. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to separate them out. All right. This is 3x squared plus 1x. And I'm just going to move 15x over here plus 5. Okay, so this guy and this guy over here, they all separated out. It still means the same thing. It's just we're separating them. Now you find the common factor of each group. So you're looking for the common factor. So here again, 3 and 1 have nothing in common, but x squared and x do. So we have x. Now you've got to factor that though, so you've got to rewrite 3x squared divided by x. Now we're just rewriting it. So we've got 3x, and then 1x divided by x is just going to be 1. All right, and now we've got on this side on the right, 15x and 5. It looks like 5 goes in. Okay, and then we're left with 3x plus 1. If you do this right, this guy and this guy are going to end up to be the same. All right, so now what you do, all right, we already did that, so I'm not going to write that. Undistribute, basically found the common factor. So what you're going to do is you're going to come down here, you've got x plus 5, because that's a positive. So let's write that as a factor. X plus 5. And then we've got the other thing that they're both being multiplied by 3x plus 1. Don't write it twice, you only write it once. So you got 3x plus 1. All right, that's factoring by grouping. All right, now let's go and try another one. Okay. Okay, so this is, what is the complete factorization of 10x squared minus x minus 2? So when you're relearning or you're learning something again, sometimes it's better to put, if you have a 1 in there, put that 1 there so you know that that really means 1. So we're looking for factors of negative 20, because 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. So let's go list all of our factors of negative 20. Now, I just deal with positive numbers, and then I play around with the signs. So, what's that? Okay. So I want, what do I want? I think I'm going to start with 1, right? 1 and 20. We'll play around with the signs in a minute. 2 and 10. 3, nope. 4, yes. 5. 4 and 5. All right, how can we play around with the signs so that they add up to negative 1? All right, no way 1 and 20 is ever going to be negative 1, no matter what you do. 2 and 10, that's going to come out to be a negative 8 or a positive 8 or a 12. Not happening. 4 and 5 can work. So if you change the 5 to a negative, this looks like it's going to be the winner. So what we do, right, we write them all out. X squared, oh, I made a mistake. This is actually 10x squared. Let me erase all this so you can see what we're doing. Remember, that's a 1. And instead of negative 1x, we're going to write plus 4x minus 5x, because that still makes negative 1x. And then bring down your negative 2. Now you've got your 4 terms. I'm going to do this with the box. So I'm going to put everybody in the right spot. And we get 10x squared, 4x, negative 5x, and negative 2. All right, go find your common factor in each row. So go ahead and hit pause and then work that out. So you need something here, you need something here, you need something there, and you need something there. All right, go ahead and hit pause and then we'll check it. Okay, so you should have found that, yeah, 4 does not go into 10, so we got to go to a smaller number. So we got 2 and an x for that first group. And then, oh, both of these numbers are negative, so we're going to make our common factor negative. But look, nothing, like they have nothing in common. So their only common factor would be -1. And that's kind of a hard concept to understand sometimes. But just remember, if they don't have anything in common, their common factor is 1. If they're both negative, yeah, -1. All right, so now let's go check our columns. So this should be 5x. And then the second column should be just 2. And you are done. Your factors are 2x minus 1 times 5x plus 2. And then to go and check it, let's go back and check. So we're going to do 2x times 5x, we get 10x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x. All right, -1 times +5 is -5x. -1 times 2 is -2. Once you add them together, you got these little guys that add up together, and you get 10x squared minus x, or minus 1x minus 2. And that is exactly what you had when you started, right there. All right, I think I'm going to do one more just to be sure. Okay, so what are all the factors of 3x squared minus 2x minus 5? Let's go really quickly because I only get like 15 minutes on here. So we're looking for factors of -15. So we're going to start 1 and 15, 3 and 5. I think that's it. So they have to add up to -2. I'm thinking if I put a negative there at the 5, I've got that. So now we're going to go and we're going to rewrite them. You want to write them as 4 terms now, right? You're writing that sum over again. So we've got 3x squared stays the same, plus 3x minus 5x minus 5. Oh, this is going to be an easy one to do. Look at all those common numbers. All right, so you could go and either make a box and check your answers. Okay, put all these little guys in there. So I've got 3x squared, 3x, -5x, and -5. I'm going to go and I'm going to factor it by grouping. So I've got these guys over here, and then I've got these guys over here. We're just going to ungroup them. So common factor of 3x squared and 3x. Well, that's easy, 3x. So then you got to go and figure that out. 3x squared divided by 3x is going to give us an x. 3x divided by 3x is 1. All right, now common factor of -5x and -5 obviously is going to be -5. And if you did this right, you should end up with the same thing you got here. And I think that's going to work. X plus 1. This is a little complicated. -5 divided by -5 is +1. All right, so now once you go and put these together, you've got 3x minus 5. That's all this part right here. And then x plus 1. All right, so that's one way of doing it. If you didn't like that, then go back and use a box, and it's all good. So you've got 3x squared and 3x, and that gives you 3x as your common factor. You don't have to go back and do anything else. -5x and -5, well, they're both negative, so make it -5. Now this one's going to be simple. Look, 3x squared and -5x, they only have an x in common. And then 3x and -5 have nothing in common, so I'm going to make it a 1. So your factors are 3x minus 5 and x plus 1, which I think is what we got the first time we did it. I just want to show you, you can get the same exact thing doing 2 different methods. All right, so there is one more method you can guess and check. So I'm going to erase this real quick and see if we can do a guess and okay, so the guessing and checking method works really well if these numbers are prime, because you don't have too many options when they're prime. So we're going to go